Hi, and welcome back to Farmstead MTG. So we are back from the Farmstead 12 event, and today we have a pretty new player on the feature. He's played in one old school tournament before, but then he borrowed a deck. But this time he has made his own old school deck, so I'm very curious about taking a look at that. So without further ado, let's take a look at some decks. And here's the first deck. Player name is Dag, and this is the new player that I was talking about. And first of all, what a great deck picture. Really aesthetic, good looking. There's a plate or a pottery or something up on the top, and no glare. So for the first deck picture, this is a great start. You have a future. And so the deck. So it's so interesting when you get a new player and they start brewing, and this is what he came up with. A classic Nether Void deck, black and red. It has all that land destruction in form of sinkhole, stone rain and a blight, not often that used. And when you kill a bunch of your opponent's land, then paralyze becomes much better. You have the dark rituals, just to get some early advantage. The black wise is good when your opponent's land is being destroyed, and 2 ices and a sedge troll to do some damage, and the factories. So and of course the 2 demonic hordes. Such a cool card, but it is pretty bad. But the art is cool. It's a big 5/5 creature that can tap to destroy land. So yeah, let's see how it does. So great deck, love it. Let's go to the next one. And here's the second deck. Player name is Alex, and he's been on this channel a bunch of times. This is classic black control deck. It has some aggressive elements in it, like the Black Knight and the Spectre, but as for the rest of it, it's Underworld Dreams, the Abyss, Sinkhole, Icy, Paralyze, and a bunch of one-offs, and the Dark Banishing in the sideboard has been changed to a Terror, and yes, the Icy Manipulators have wrong art, but they cost like 25 cents, and the unlimited one costs 100 euros. So yeah, we kind of allow them, but we want them to be changed to unlimited sometimes in the future. So let's do pretty cool control decks going at it. So let's get down to the match. Right, game number 1. You have Dag to the left and Alex to the right. Alex is on the play, starts out with a Soul Ring. So that's an excellent start. And a Swamp from Dag. And a Maze of It. Dark Ritual into an Underworld Dream. That's a good card in this grindy matchup. Going to tick down, and Dag doesn't have any enchantment removal since he's playing black and red, so that dream is going to stick. And here's a Sinkhole from Dag, taking out the only swamp. There's a new swamp. You can't tap Maze. Yeah, they noticed it. And just past the turn. So let's see if Dag has any more land destruction. There's a Shadow on the Soul Ring. Ooh, that's very good. The Underworld Dream is ticking away, but he still have 18 turns. And, Alex is kindly showing us his hand, a bunch of knights and specters. just have to draw a bunch of lands. So a dog has 4 mana. He is casting a Dark Ritual for one of them. An Icy Manipulator. Yes, it's the wrong art. Sorry about that. And in Alex's upkeep, dog is tapping down the swamp land. And he did draw another swamp. But as long as that Icy is in play, he needs at least one more swamp before he can cast a Knight. Just pass the turn. Will there? Doesn't look like there was a land on top, so we pass the turn. And the Underworld Dream has done 5 damage. Ooh yeah! Demonic Horde. So that's a 5/5. You can tap it to destroy target land, and you have to pay 3 black in your upkeep. And if it doesn't pay, I think one of your own land is destroyed. That's a Hypnotic Spectre from Doug, from Alex. So he's paying for the upkeep. There's a bolt on the Spectre and a black wise. Okay. So tapping down with Icy. So next turn the Demonic Horde can start destroying Alex's land. And Icy can tap down and the black wise can do damage. So that's a good game plan here. So he destroyed the maze. So it looks like he's going for a beatdown plan. Ooh, another blackwise. I don't think I would have targeted the maze, but perhaps he drew that second blackwise. And now the Underworld Dreams has done 8 damage. So will he destroy a land or attack for 5? Looks like he is taking out the Strip Mine and using his Icy to tap down one of the swamps. And the Black Wise is starting to do a lot of damage. Yeah, and you have to pay the upkeep cost before draw, but that is a casual. Game number 2. There's a lot of land destruction in Dog's hand. Alex is on the play. Soul Ring into a Winter Orb. Oh boy. Guess we're in for a long game. There are some cards that when they're cast, you just know, just like Blood Moons, you know you're in for a long, weird game. And Winter Orb has that similar effect, but it has a Relic Barrier. That's a great synergy with the Winter Orb, because Alex can now use his Relic Barrier to tap the Winter Orb, and then he can untap all his lands. Sinkhole from Dog. Oh no, and he doesn't have more lands. really need that double black to cast most of his spells. Dark Ritual into a Mind Twist. So that's a Mind Twist for 4. Ooh. A Shatterstorm and some land destruction. Yeah, that Mind Twist was huge because just pass the turn. Doggies can only untap 1 land. And now Alex has 5 mana, but no spell to cast. Another Blight. No, he doesn't have 5 mana. There's an enchantment. So he has 2 swamps and a soul ring. So now he has 4, and now he has 5 mana. There should be some specters and knights in his hand. Yep, there's a knight. And when he's tapping that swamp with a blight on, it gets destroyed. The mace stops the knight, but every round that Dag uses the mace, he can only untap 1 land, so that really holds him back. 2 paralyze and a warp artifact in Alex's hand. And if you saw the deck pictures earlier, I'm not sure that the deck picture from Dag's deck was complete. So I think that was the first draft that he took a picture of. So there's probably been some changes to his deck. But anyway, the picture gave a pretty good idea about what his plan was. And here is a bolt on the Black Knight. Tapping 3 mana for a Hypnotic Spectre. Now Dag has 3 mana. Is he going to cast a spell? Okay, so he doesn't use the mace, so it looks like he wants more mana, and that was a Nether Void. There's another Hypnotic Spectre. So now Dag needs another bolt for one of them and hold back the other one with a mace. Tapping 1 bad land. Is there a bolt? Okay, tapping 3 mana. Yeah, drain life for 2. Puts him back to 13 life. But now it's going to be hard to untap all those lands. Demonic Tutor from Alex. So the Mind Twist is gone. So I wonder, could go for a Sinkhole or another threat. Suchi. Yeah, perhaps a Suchi, because doesn't look like Doug has any shatter effects in his hand. Because if he had, I think he would have been targeting the Winter Orb. There's a Hypnotic Spectre and a Bolt on the Spectre. I wonder if he found a Spectre with that Demonic Tutor. Right. Yeah. Alex is untapping all of his lands, but I guess it's shortcutting that Relic Barrier Winter Orb combo. So that's okay, but when you're on the feature, it's okay to show it at least. So this is a slow one. But that's what's happening with when Winter Orb is on the table. Here's the Suchi. So now you can only untap one land. So you choose to untap a Swamp and not the Maze. So it's going to lose a card from the Spectre. So that's interesting. Yes, thank you. Showing it perfectly. Tapping down that Winter Orb and untapping all of his lands. Here comes an attack for 6. Okay, that's a Shatter on the Winter Orb. So now we can start untapping all of his lands. And he loses a Drain Life. Oh, an Underworld Dream. Dag is down to 11. It's going to be hard to take this game as a Sedge Troll. And we've seen a couple of paralyzes in Alex's hand. And a Blackwise. So here comes the Paralyze. Yep. And he's attacking for 6. He's removing the Spectre with a Mace. 4 damage down to 7. Yes, and there's a Warp Artifact. So 2 damage every turn. I guess this is over. I don't see any way. Yeah, there's a scoop. Game number 3. Mana Vault. That's a good start. If you have a second land, you have 5 mana in round 2. Or the second turn, I guess it's called. Okay, 5 mana, Stone Rain, and 2 mana left, and for that he cast a Demonic Tutor. Interesting. Ooh, a Nether Void. Yeah, that's cool. Such a classic deck with a Nether Void. So, of course, you can pay for the Mana Vault. There's a 3rd land, 1 more land, and he can cast another Void and really close this game. Ooh, and there's a maze from Alex. Wow. No more swamps. Oh my. There's the Nether Void. And Alex only has 1 mana. This is going to be hard. Now we can use his 4 land to untap his Mana Vault, and he can use the Mana Vault to pay that extra Nether Void cost. So that's a very good combination. So you can cast a spell every other turn. I remember the first time I saw Nether Void. We had a weekly meetup late in the 90s, and suddenly there was a new guy, an older guy, who had this mono black land destruction deck with the Nether Void. And if I remember correct, I think there was a lot of black border cards, and we were so amazed by this mysterious black deck, and of course he destroyed us all. We couldn't cast any spells, and then he left, and he never came back. I think his name was Tony or something, so shout out to you if you're still around. And in the meantime, we are in the Nether Void. And now looks like Dag is casting a Sedge Troll. Of course, Alex has a mace, so he needs another creature if he is going to do some damage. So I guess he's thinking about which card to discard. Dag is untapping his Mana Vault, taking a turn off. Next turn he can cast a new spell. I feel like Nether Void hasn't been seeing that much play in old school. It's one of those big legendary enchantments from Legends, like the Moat and the Abyss, but those have seen much more play. So it's cool to see it here. Even if it's not a fun card to play against, but it's cool. But that's the thing with a lot of those old school cards. There are so many feel bad cards. You have cheap land destruction and all those taxing effects, and all that sideboard cards like destroy all islands, destroy all planes, the circle of protection. Magic was really different back in the early 90s. So, in the meantime, there are 2 Black Wises. Those are going to town on poor Alex. Can't cast his spells. He has 3 swamps. So if we draw another swamp, he can cast a 1 mana spell. because Nethervoid says that you have to pay 3 extra mana whenever you cast a spell, and if you don't, your spell gets countered. And there's an icy manipulator. Now we can tap down the mace and attack for 3. And Alex has 7 cards, so that's a lot of damage. Yep, there's a scoop. GG. So Dag won 2-1, and that was a great match. Really cool to see Demonic Horde. That's the first on this channel, and that third game with a classic Nethervoid lockdown. So cool. Alright, but that was it for me today. I really appreciate if you like and subscribe to my channel and make a comment and all that. And thank you for watching, and goodbye.